Oh, hey, self-lovers. Guess what time it is?
Self-love in 7
minutes or less. Yep, it's another self-love in 7 moment, and I am so excited for this episode. Literally cannot wait to support you breaking through your own suffering to live that life of your dreams. Wait, what? Suffering. Yep, we're talking about the good old S word, suffering, suffering. Now, before we hop in, make sure to screenshot this episode and get ready to drop in your number one takeaway and share it on IG. And tag me at Paul Fishman and the show at The Self-Love Show. Share your biggest takeaway with the world and tell them that they get to listen along with you. I can't wait to see and celebrate with you. Now, this episode is brought to you by my Worthiness Workshop, a 2-hour deep dive into defining your worth and rewriting the stories you tell yourself about not deserving the things you want most. Inside the Worthiness Workshop, you will discover the limiting beliefs that are holding you back. Wait, what's the limiting belief? Don't you worry, honey, we will break it down in the workshop, and I am going to help you discover what yours are. And from there, I'll take you through a 4-step process to ditch the zero self-worth life and shower yourself with compassion and self-love. I mean, sign me up! All of this plus a bonus 22-minute and 22-second worthiness meditation because, hello, angel numbers, and lifetime access to the workshop and workbook and my self-love on-demand app for just one single low payment of $64.99. No, stop those thoughts of you don't deserve it or you can't afford it in their tracks. This is your time, self-lover, and I know you are going to do it to it. You know what they say, right? Okay, I'll tell you. You can always make more money, but time, well, time is the only resource you cannot get back. So why spend more of it not loving yourself? Head to paulfishman.love/worthy to sign up and change your life for good. I mean, are you ready to stop suffering yet? If not, well, let's get into the episode. I have a feeling it'll shake that suffering out of you in 7 minutes or less.
Self-love in 7
minutes or less. Self-love in 7. It's time to stop suffering. Okay, so what even is suffering anyway? Suffering, or pain in a broad sense, may be an experience of unpleasantness and aversion associated with the perception of harm or threat of harm in an individual. The opposite of suffering is happiness. Ooh! Wikipedia, you have me shook. Wow. I repeat, do not ever want to suffer. No. That is not a cute look. And did you hear that? The opposite of suffering is happiness? I'd let that sink in for a few minutes, but we only have 7, so let's get on with it. So, it's time to stop suffering, aka being unhappy, and I have a few thoughts on the matter of suffering. Number 1, first things first. To stop your suffering, you first have to admit that you are suffering in the first place. What does suffering look like? Well, let's see. A pattern of self-sabotage, like paying off a credit card and then racking it right back up when your only dream is to live debt-free. Maybe going to the gym and then hitting up good old Mickey D's afterwards for a 40-piece chicken McNuggets when all you want is 6-pack abs. Or even setting some boundaries with your family around communication and being the first to break the boundary. Suffering can also look like not doing the work or expecting others to do it for you. For instance, maybe you decide to join the Worthiness Workshop, but then you don't actually do it and you beat yourself up for paying for something that you don't use. That, my friends, is a pattern of suffering and self-sabotage. And drumroll please, When you are stuck in a pattern of suffering, your mind actually thinks that you are safe in that suffering because it's a pattern and you know what to expect in that pattern. So you continue to relive it over and over and over because it's what? Comfortable. Ouch. Okay, so you're thoroughly frustrated now, right? You just had a light bulb moment about your suffering and you don't know what to do about it. Okay, are you ready for the solution? You might not like it, but here it comes. Choose to stop suffering. In other words, choose happiness. The moment you realize that suffering is a choice is the moment you will be set free. If you know the McNuggets or the debt is ultimately making you unhappy, then decide now that you are no longer going to choose those things. Yes, it's going to be hard, but imagine what it would feel like to finally honor yourself and deal with this nonsense once and for all. Take it from the boy who used to be drowning in debt and McNuggets. The freedom of happiness is the most liberating feeling you will ever experience. It's like winning the lottery on your wedding day while going viral on Instagram, all at the same frickin' time. So, my sweet self-lover, if you're listening to this and rolling your eyes at the idea of winning the lottery or getting married or going viral on Instagram, you're missing the point. You might not want or experience any of those things in your lifetime, but you can definitely relate to the feeling of straight up winning, can't you? And if you can't, well, it's time to stop suffering, period. Because you might not believe that you're worthy of a happy life free of suffering, but I sure do know that you are worthy of that. And if you need to borrow some of my belief in you, well, the good news is I have enough to go around for all of us. So borrow away, honey. Also, a gentle reminder about other people's suffering. It is not your own. Don't take it on and don't let it get in the way of you breaking your own vicious cycle. People will suffer for as long as they are willing to suffer. So, start with you, lead by example, and let's all witness the ripple effect of what just one person deciding to break free from their suffering can do. Self-lovers, if this episode had an impact on you, and you are now loving the self-love sass that I am serving, please do me a solid and head on over to iTunes and leave a review of the show. By sharing your review, you are supporting this show and fueling the fire of its magic so others can discover it too. Oh, and the Worthiness Workshop is ready for you and available today at paulfishman.love/worthy. That's Paul, fish like the things that swim in the sea, man like me.love/worthy, WORTHY. Ooh, 7 minutes has never been more productive. Am I right? Let me know on IG with a screenshot and your biggest takeaway from the episode. Tag me at Paul Fishman and at The Self-Love Show. Forever grateful for you, self-lovers, and I'll see you next week for another episode of The Road to Self-Love, and in a couple of weeks for another self-love in 7 minutes or less. Bye.